Hello everyone, it's that teacher here, and today's lesson is going to be on division with decimal remainders. Let's start learning. Welcome back to the channel everyone. We're going to begin our lesson on division with decimal remainders. Now, this is quite a difficult concept, but if you follow the previous lessons, you will have absolutely no troubles. Of course, we're always going to give you a few little tips and tricks to make everything easier. Let's dive straight into the lesson. So, just a quick recap. Division is the action of separating something into parts or the process of being separated. As you can see there, nice little chalky, split in half, divided into two pieces. Let's get straight into the lesson. Now, division with the remainders as decimals is quite a difficult concept like I previously mentioned. Now, if we go through it systematically one by one, it's quite a simple process. So we're gonna follow that and hopefully we'll make this really simple. I've got an awesome trick that makes this really easy and simple to learn. So let's get straight into it. How many 4s can fit evenly into 2? That would be 0. Now we combine the next two numbers, so that is 25 now. How many 4s can fit evenly into 25? That would be 6. Remainder 1. Remember, as we've done in our previous lessons, put the remainder in whatever place value, whatever number comes next, the remainder goes in front of that. So you can see it's no longer 4 in the tens column. That number has now transformed to 14. So how many 4s can fit evenly into 14? That would be 3, remainder 2. So the 2 in the ones column is no longer a 2 because of the remainder. It becomes 22, okay? So how many 4s can fit into 22? That would be 5. Now, we have used 20 of the 22 numbers that we had to deal with there. So we have 2 remainders. Now, I'm gonna show you exactly what to do to deal with those 2 remainders. Now, what we need to do is, the trick here is 1 high, 1 below, and 2 zeros. So I'm gonna say that again. 1 high, 1 low, which I mean the decimal points. You can see I put a decimal high, I put a decimal point below, and 2 zeros. So 1 high, 1 below, and 2 zeros. Now this is the strategy to make it super easy to solve division with remainders as decimals. So, how many 4s can now, what we need to do now, we've put the 2 zeros there. We had 2 remainders from the previous question. We need to now put it in front of the new 0 that you've recently added. So now you have 20. So how many 4s can fit evenly in 20? That would be 5. Now, in a question like this, you are done because there are no more remainders. So that second 0, we put it there as a precaution in case we had leftovers. However, in this case, it's nice and clean. It is 635.5. Now, moving on to the next question. We have 3,775 divided by 3. So, how many 3s can fit evenly into 3? That's 1. How many 3s can fit evenly into 7? That would be 2, remainder 1. Remember, it's no longer a 7, it becomes a 17. How many 3s can fit evenly into 17? That would be 5, remainder 2. How many 3s can fit evenly into 25? That would be 8. Now, we have used 24 of the 25 numbers. So there would be 1 remainder. Don't forget, I just showed you before. 1 high, 1 low, and 2 zeros. So 1 high, 1 low, 2 zeros. That will make this process so easy. So what I mean, I'm gonna say it again. 1 high, I'm talking about the decimal point. 1 below, I'm talking about the decimal point. So we have 1 high, 1 below, and 2 zeros. That's the secret method to this recipe. Let's go. So now, like I said previously, we have 1 remainder. So we put that in front of the new 0 there. How many 3s can fit evenly in 10? That would be 3. Now, whatever remainder you have left goes in front of the second 0. Now, most questions in your class, especially if you're primary school or elementary school, if they in other countries, what they call that, I would do the question, the answer to the 2 decimal places, the 2 closest decimal places. Any more than that, the number can get huge and you'll be there forever. In fact, some numbers go on forever. So let's just cap it at 2, the nearest 2 decimal places, okay? So finally, how many 3s can fit in 10? That would be 3. So you can see what I mean by it will go on forever. If you went 0, 1 remainder, 0, 1 remainder, 0, 1, you'll be there forever. So just cap it at the nearest 2 decimal places, okay? So 1258.33, it's as simple as that. Finally, we have 6,284 divided by 7. Now, how many 7s can fit into 6? That would be 0. How many 7s can fit into 62? That would be 8. Now we have 6 remainders. So this is quite a bit of it's more of a difficult question, but we'll get on with it. So how many 7s fit into 68? We have 9, remainder 5. Finally, how many 7s can fit into 54? That would be 7. Now, we have used 49 of the 54 numbers, which means there are 5 remainders here. Once we get to the end, don't forget 1 high, 1 below, and 2 zeros. 1 high, 1 below, 2 zeros. The easiest formula to follow, the most simple, the most effective, because you just follow exactly the same process and you've already added in the decimal points where they need to go. It makes it so easy. So like I said, we have 5 remainders from before. We put it in front of the new 0. How many 7s can fit into that 50? That would be 7, remainder 1. How many 7s can fit into 10? That would be 1. Now, if you put another 0, if you want to go to the closest 3 decimal places, that's cool. You just add another 0 and that would be, you put a 3, because we have 3 remainders in front of the 0. How many 7s can fit in 30? That would be 4. So the more accurate number would be 897.714. But like I said, 2 decimal places is more than enough, especially if you're in primary school or elementary school, okay? So that is how you solve division with remainders as decimals. It's super easy. Just remember the golden rule: 1 high, 1 below, and 2 zeros. That way you cannot go wrong with that formula. It's absolutely foolproof and you follow it 1 place value at a time. Whatever remainders are left, you move it to the next place value until you're finished with 2 decimal places. The closest, you round it up and you're done, okay? So that is how you do that. That's how you do division with remainders as decimals, okay? So hopefully that process is super simplified now with our new strategy: 1 high, 1 below, 2 zeros, and hopefully that makes a massive difference and makes it easy for you now in class. So we have, you could see I actually put the 3rd 0 before that. Now, here are some questions for you. Get a piece of paper, get a pen, work those questions out, do your best, and you'll get there following that formula: 1 high, 1 below, 2 zeros. So girls and boys, students who are listening, let's get into it. So here are the answers. If you haven't already, paused it here, but here are the answers for your slide. So as you can see, the answers are here. I know if you followed that simple strategy, 1 high, 1 below, 2 zeros, you can't go wrong. If you followed that and you know your times tables, you've been practicing, this method is absolutely foolproof. You cannot make a mistake. So thank you for watching the lesson. I hope that is helpful. That's been helpful to a lot of the students in my class. 1 high, 1 below, 2 zeros. It's easy to remember. It makes sense. It makes the process easy, efficient, and you'll be able to solve it. So hopefully you're there now. Thank you for watching. It's That Teacher. We'll see you at the next lesson.